So for the second and last video for this section, I have an example. F of x equals square root of x minus 1, and g of x equals x minus 2 over x minus 3. The domain of f, you set the radicand x minus 1 greater than or equal to 0. That's greater than or equal to 0, because square root of 0 is 0, so that's fine. Which means that x is greater than or equal to 1, which gives us the interval 1 to infinity. Square bracket on the 1, parentheses on the infinity. The domain of g, the only thing that can go wrong is dividing by 0. So we want x not equal to 3, which looks like this in interval notation. Negative infinity to 3, comma on 3, union, comma. Okay, try that again. Parentheses, negative infinity, 3, close parentheses, union, parentheses, 3, comma, infinity, close parentheses. So that's all, the whole real number line except for the number 3. So here I've graphed the results. If you put these two together, you have to have x is not 3, but x is also greater than or equal to 1. And so you get a right arrow pointing with the endpoint at 1, a solid dot at 1, with a hollow dot at 3, because you have to skip 3. So this gives us two intervals. And this is the intersection of the domain F and domain G. So that'll be the domain for the product, or the sum, the difference, and the product of F and G. We'll all have that same domain. So if you write this out in interval notation, you get square bracket 1, comma 3, parenthesis, union, parenthesis, 3, comma, infinity, parenthesis. And that's going to be the domain of F plus G, the domain of F minus G, and the domain of F times G. Okay, and now all we have to worry about is F divided by G. So for F divided by G, we also need G of x not equal to 0. That is x minus 2 over x minus 3 not equal to 0. And a fraction is 0 only when the numerator is 0. So that means x minus 2 is not equal to 0, which means x is not equal to 2. So we have to omit the point x equals 2 from our solution set. And we do it the same way we did with the 3. Just put an open dot at 2 in our graph. And so we get the graph like this. This is 3 intervals. So in interval notation, the domain of F over G equals square bracket 1, comma 2, parenthesis, union, parenthesis, 2, comma 3, parenthesis, union, parenthesis, 3, comma, infinity, parenthesis. So there's one square bracket on the far left, and the rest are parentheses. So that just cuts out the 2 and the 3 from x greater than or equal to 1 from that interval. Now I'm just going to write out what these functions actually are. The function f plus g of x equals the square root of x minus 1 plus x minus 2 over x minus 3. This is kind of the easy part, right? F minus g of x equals x square root of x minus 1 minus x minus 2 over x minus 3. F times g of x equals x minus 2 in parentheses times the square root of x minus 1 divided by x minus 3. And f divided by g equals, well, you take the reciprocal of g and multiply. So it's x in parentheses, x minus 3, times square root of x minus 1 over x minus 2. And I just made a note that x cannot equal 3 because that's not in the domain of the function, because it's not in the domain of g. Okay, so that's it for those.